Director Elfman is a giant, horrible abomination from the sea. I think I put his height at around, in this form, around 12, 13 feet. Shedding, being composed of multiple heads, arms, varying expressions and actions. He is, this is the true form of Director Elfman. Danny. 2 eyes. The crown of tongues. Who has been stoking the fires of hatred and war between humanity and merman to dissolve, ruin, and bring down any hope of alliance or peace. By stoking the fires and feeding the racism of the humans, he has been funneling their technology, their resources, their personnel towards his ends, his goals, of using them to pry away mermen from human society, making them more hateful, making them more fanatical.
And it seems to be working.
Well, I mean, he's been responsible so far for who knows how many executions, war crimes. If he had a rap sheet, it's probably a mile long.
He's bad to have around. Very bad. Maybe he needs to die, in fact.
Well, that'll be up to you guys, members of the Stella Maris Police Department. You are currently dealing with a high-ranking lieutenant of Avicii's personal army. The Daganites. Crowns are the leaders, the firstborn to have intelligent sentience. There were primordial Daganites that existed, but these were the first ones that had anywhere close to the sort of intelligence required of them to infiltrate humanity, to break down armies, if necessary, as a solo agent. Director Elfman technically may not be the walking nuke that some other crowns are, but he has managed to subvert so many different politicians and governments just through acts like blackmail and propaganda that he could be just as deadly or even more deadly than any of his siblings. And so, resume the scene. Coming back to it, Director Elfman, Danny, has kidnapped Maddie and Clint, holding them hostage in the burning club, the nonstop enforcement cabaret, where he sicked quite a few trained humans on you, and eventually some of the members of Soft Cell.
I like the two of you moving towards the cat. I appreciate that.
I gotta pet it.
No, I just imagine the two of them doing like, no, get down, Mr. President, towards the cat.
It's a bit of an oddity, yes, that the cat Ember has bled blue here and seems to be just hiding in the corner of the room watching everything that's happening. Not flinching at all when Director Elfman sheds his human form for his more eldritch, true nature. Cat does not seem bothered. Even to try and look at him, even though you are not human, you are not subject to the same sort of madness that maybe a person would feel looking at something like this. It's hard to even get a feeling of which face is his, or just one that he's shedding off, almost like a limb. He's not quite a swarm like you, Icepeak. He is just simply this mass of parts. Some of them even whisper their own thoughts, having conversations with nobody at all.
Okay, so he's not even thinking in a form we are.
It's likely not.
I'd say it's even more pressing to put something like this down in that case. It's already shown that he's malicious. Now it's just madness with malicious. So, extra bad. All the more pressing to get the hostages out. Enya's just gonna move in on him.
You're just gonna attack him? Alright.
Yeah, just roll straight on.
So instead of a conversation, you just open up with a punch. He will just take 5 shifts. You just punch him really hard.
She's a bit stunned that connected, but she's gonna take a couple steps back.
Why'd you hit me for? Jeez! One of the faces just turns and looks at you.
It's clear that you're not, there's no... She doesn't know what to say.
Oh, one of the faces starts to cry. There. A hand comes up and pets the head. Don't be hurt. She didn't mean it, I'm sure. It's just things are confusing right now for them.
No, Okay, look, you see, there's only two ways to go about something, and it's through talking it out and coming to some understanding or violence. I only know these two routes, so you see, you put me in a place here.
As you're talking, the crying head is sucking on the hand's thumb.
Her eyes are gonna darken, and she's just gonna like lower. She looks to the group. Guys, this is.
Yeah, I got nothing. This is weird.
She's gonna gesture dramatically.
He just kind of like reaches out to weakly slap at you like a hand, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna actually do any damage.
She's just kind of got this pulled back, gritting teeth look to her as she just watches.
Yeah, he just kind of casually swats you like across like the shoulder. Take that! Now, how does it feel? I bet that was devastating.
No, not quite.
Yes, she's terribly hurt. Please return the hostages.
Oh, these two? He motions back at them.
Clearly.
You want them? You can have them. Please, by all means. They're yours. You just have to, get past me. You wouldn't want to do that, though. It would make me look foolish in the eyes of Father.
I'm afraid your father may be dead or brain dead.
Father's fine.
Anya is gonna start making her way towards Maddie a little, just sidestepping.
You feel your shoulder, Enya, where he touched you, begin to rumble a little.
She's gonna look over at that and then coldly turn to look towards the group and do sort of a gesture with her shaking her head like, do not get touched.
Oh, I don't think you want to get too close now. It looks like you're feeling a bit under the weather. You may want to step away from someone if you're worried about them. Something bad might happen here, because I know that all of you are good people, of course, and, well, that's the problem with good people. They're always concerned with others, but they never take care of themselves. And then after he finishes saying that, you feel basically a face pushing its way through your shoulder. Whoopsie daisy.
Does a face actually go through?
Yes. Pushes through the flesh. It's not just a face, actually, it's a horn. Out of your shoulder. There is a horn of about, we'll say, 4 feet, maybe even 5 in length.
She is just gonna back away from Maddie, but she's not sure what to do, what her next move here is yet.
See, the problem with you surface dwellers is you spend all your time hanging out in the light, but never taking too good of a look. Shadows are scary, sometimes even disinteresting. It's what's in the light that you're really transfixed by. So what happens, I wonder, when the shadows are removed and something comes up to the surface? Something like... The horn pushes even further out and a horse head emerges. Just hanging out of your shoulder, now weighing you down with its just weight. It weighs about as much as you do.
Alright, well, the group sees Enya going for something to support her, and she's basically just kneeling.
This thing basically pushes its way out of your body entirely, separating bone, muscle tissue, not doing any damage, but you can feel it emerge, crawl out. It's like giving birth to a clone of yourself. It's not fun. This thing is an ethereal, kind of almost fae-like unicorn with a fishtail that looks ghostly and translucent in the light. It is enchanting to behold, if not terrifying for the rest of you, because it looks exactly like something from the deepest waters of the Mariana Trench. It begins to circle around Enya, but it doesn't seem to be doing any damage to her. It's just kind of patrolling around her
She's confused by this and looking at Director Elfman.
to avoid this thing clinging to you. It's going to blow 2 fate points to raise its score to a 6. It's going to invoke that it is an empty vessel and that it is sticky.
She's just gonna invoke her skull.
So you defend yourself with your own aquatic features. Now that this thing is very close to you, this is almost the form that you wish you had. Not this ugly thing that you are twisted into, this horrible countenance of war that when you manifest your full seahorse form, but this more unearthly, eldritch monster, this thing free of inhibition and worry, graceful as it floats.
Alright, yeah, Enya's just mesmerized by this thing, but she's scared of it as well.
All right, you can just finish your turn with this thing not clinging to you.
I'm still a toddler size, so I'm very small. Would you say that the windows outside lead to where the strippers are getting arrested?
Yes, yeah, I'd say so. It's like overlooking the street. You can actually see laser sights coming, trying to pierce through the smoke in the room.
I'd like to start making a ladder of those from the outside toward the window where Clint is.
Give me a brain trust roll. It's a kind of smart move. You have to coordinate all those different little swarm parts. He's going to spend a fate point and invoke his depth. He is used to things operating in a capacity where he can't see them, both for hunting and for escaping. So this is not, he can tell that you're doing something. He's not exactly sure what. It just means that you won't have an advantage on your roll if you want to try to extract Clint, unless you want to spend your own fate point.
Then I'd like to spend one because she really, she's worried. Like, Clint is the only one of the few good humans we've met, and she really doesn't want him dead.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do the need to feed.
So you're forming your eels up like the wall right now. You're gonna use them presumably on your next turn to remove Clint, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Someone's gonna need to smash that window. I'm gonna need to smash that window, but yes.
Director Elfman turns 2 of his heads towards you, with one still looking at Enya, and then lazily walks over. He looks like he's just strolling towards you, and then tries to grab at you. Just one giant hand towards your smaller, your reduced form.
I'll try to lean back or avoid his touch. I saw what happened. That's weird. I usually like weird things, but...
Ooh, -1.
Slither, I don't...
Yeah, sure, roll a slither. Sure, you beat him with style, so you get an advantage on your next roll. You get a free boost. So you just kind of slither away, and he's just lazily reaching out to grab you. It doesn't seem like he's very agile right now. Oh, what's wrong? I just wanted to give you a hug. I'm starting to think that you figured out the gimmick.
I am not one for physical contact.
Fair enough. In that case, perhaps I should go a little bit... He stares at you, like, with all eyes now. All 3 heads are looking at you very sharply. You have to roll your own gaze against his. So 3. Yeah, you don't notice, or you don't know what he's doing, but it seems like he's doing something staring at you. You don't feel anything. Do you visibly hesitate in character on your turn, or do you feel decisive as Claudia?
I think she hesitates because seeing it filled in means like straightforward attacks might not work out.
Director Elfman will see you hesitate and then fold his arms as if he is somewhat disappointed. What's the matter? Are you questioning my range, my abilities? Wondering what will happen if you mess up somewhere along the line? Or, worse yet, what if my actions aren't as they seem? They look straightforward, I know. But I didn't get to where I am by being a lumbering, crying oaf. Everything is calculated at all times. I may not be the brains, but a tongue is a dexterous thing. You can give up if you'd like. I'll let you leave. You can walk away. Do you want to go home to your children? I'm sure they need their mother. You don't want to leave them as orphans, do you? That would be a shame, wouldn't it? Well, who's going to take care of them? Me? Yes. I think I could take care of your children for you. When you're gone, I'll make sure they're raised properly in the Dagonite faith. They won't spend any time making friends with humans. No. Far from it. Well, come on, officer. Don't you want to do something?
She's just going to observe for now.
He is compelling you based off of your main drive. He's directly threatening your children. He's compelling you to act. Will you resist his taunt, or will you act?
She's gonna resist this
Pay me 1 fate point. What do you feel like keeps you from just lunging at him?
because he's obviously taunting me for some reason. So I feel like I need a bit of a secret sniffer. There's something he's not telling me, something that he's alluding to without saying it. At first, it looks like she's about to just lunge, like straight up, just sock him in the punch. But probably about midway, her fist just kind of stops as she's realizing this is what he wants. He wants me to come closer. He wants me to punch him.
You have that JoJo moment where it's like, no, she's just taunting you. It's just trying to get you in a bad position, something advantageous to him. But when he sees your hesitation, every face on his head smiles. He lets that go.
I would want to create a bit of an obstacle for him.
There are aspects of the scene now that we're using a battle map, so you can see there's like furniture around you. You can use that and kind of nail it in place with your shell knives if you want. Until you can think of a stronger strategy or see what the group is doing, you can like sync up with them with a 3. You create an obstacle with it that has a 3. He is going to move down here towards you, Towner, lumbering over slowly. He's not going to take an action.
I think Towner's just gonna hit him with the sofa.
You hit and cause 2 shifts of damage as the sofa breaks over his form. Is that it? Don't you want to do something more?
There's 2 more sofas in here.
He looks at them and grabs the one next to himself, smashes that one over himself for 1 shift of damage, moves over here, grabs this one, and then smashes himself again for another shift of damage.
Damn it, that's my idea!
Do I have to like jump off the couch?
Yeah, yes you do.
I roll something or just jump?
No, you can just jump. What else would you like to throw at me? Something like this table here?
Maybe.
I see. Very good. I've assessed you. He's going to lazily reach out and try to slap you. It's a 3. You will need to roll, say ride or die against a 3.
Can I bite him if he's trying to slap me?
Sure, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, I got all my fate points. I'll re-roll that.
You spend 2 fate points. But
Alright.
you get your result. You get a 5 on him. Or actually, not 2. You bite him. You just bite his hand. Once you've bitten him, you feel his hand kind of like flex, clench down, and grab at your jaw, basically forcefully prying it open by flexing his arm at the wrist, just jacking your mouth wide open. That roll comes as an 8. As he rips his arm out of your mouth, and you feel this is the worst thing that probably you've ever had to discharge out of your throat. You feel a whole ass another shark person being pulled right out of your body as he slaps down a wet, rippling, muscly form of another shark man that is your size, if not a little bigger. And he just slaps it down right where the couch was.
Look at it. Holy shit.
Towner, this thing just rises up with steam coming off of its body. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Who we eating?
Towner points at the big guy and says, him.
Why?
Because he's an asshole.
He's not good. He doesn't taste good at all. But that one, other towner points at Clint. He looks really good.
Yeah, but he's a human, so...
But, buddy, why are you lying? You know humans are delicious, right?
No.
Yes, they are. You see him getting bigger when you say no. Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Oh, he's fucking really getting big now. Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Stop lying, Connor! Stop!
He's so ripped, man. His teeth are so sharp now. His eyes are glowing the brightest you've ever seen anything in the sea glow.
What have you done?
Counter?
Out of character, I'm thinking if he keeps lying, eventually he'll just exceed the mass that the floor can hold up.
Well, aside from just getting bigger, he's also getting spikes and blades growing out of his body, and he's gaining this way stronger war form. Like you've seen other mermen kind of like really flex and hulk out. Right now, this guy is the most jacked you've ever seen a merman or Dagonite for that matter. He is extremely big and extremely deadly looking.
Not being bigger than me.
No. It's going to cling to you, and that score comes with a +6. He's invoking that he is sticky and that he is strengthened by lies, and he surely is. He also just has a bonus because, lying.
Yeah, it's just gonna grab him, I think.
Yeah, you just get grabbed. This giant version of you, this giant evil doppelganger, just grabs you up and just holds you and starts screaming in your face that you are, like, basically, you're a liar. You're a liar. Humans are delicious. Why even think about it? Oh, nobody even trusts you around them, Towner. All the people on the street look at a shark man and think you're gonna make them into dinner. And you know what? You're thinking it too.
I don't want to lie again.
Well, you don't have to. It's your turn for now. You're good, I guess.
Okay, all good.
Yeah, heat's off.
I was thinking of doing her piercing gaze to like really quickly see what weaknesses she could kind of figure out.
When he sees you looking at him, he's going to open the mouth of the central head and reveal what looks like a segmented tongue. It's armored, it's long, and it looks like it has small arms, small legs that are like coming off of it. It seems to be some kind of insectoid thing, cephalopod. It just kind of wiggles at you, and when you use your piercing gaze, you can see that this is his only weak point, really. He's showing it to you.
Okay, like on purpose.
Mm-hmm. In fact, you could, right now, just hit him there. He's compelling you by your motto. You can pay a fate point, or you can resist his taunt. Your motto is at the right moment you strike. He's revealing his great weakness to you right now. Taunting you in hubris, almost.
I guess I could do like the thing where I take out one of my fangs and try to impale his tongue.
Okay, you can do that, but remember, when Claudia was taunted earlier, she resisted and defended herself, and Blue saw that. So
yeah, I know.
Will Blue take the lesson of her squad mate, or will she take the bait?
Fang is detached from my
you're
body.
Right. You're fine. You can just throw a fang at him if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
It hits him. He takes 4 shifts of damage. He doesn't attempt to resist. Would you aim it at the tongue, exposed tongue?
Yes.
He doesn't resist that either. He just waggles it with the blade through it. He vanishes. The mist just passes by him very suddenly. The smoke. He's just gone. You can actually see, once the mist clears, the blade that you threw into his tongue is still spinning in the air before it drops to the ground. Give me another piercing gaze roll. You can't really tell where he is in the smoke, but you can see something moving around quickly, in the same way that sailors who are just out at sea may be able to tell that there's just this smashed somewhere in the rolling fog, but they can't quite pinpoint where it is until it's too late. He just appears through the smoke and seizes you by the throat. He's invoking his everyone's gonna hate his drive. His drive is live, laugh, love. As you can tell, as he's grabbing
I
you,
love
he
it.
looks like very happy. You can either roll a blind or a hard boil, but it will affect like what the result is if you don't pass a 7.
I'm gonna try blind.
Pretty good, a 6. You can spend 1 fate point if you want to avoid his hand.
Yes, I will do that.
Then as he like pops in on you from the smoke to try and swipe at you, you just let off this great huge flare that causes him to actually recoil. Or at least some of his heads recoil. One's just staring at you, still smiling. But it's enough to throw off his coordination so that he can't grab at you.
I don't really have a lot other than my rifle, so I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay, go ahead and shoot him.
Oh, sorry. And I wanted to gesture to people who can see me about the tongue. Hopefully that gets the message across.
It's Jojo. You can just scream out, "It's his tongue! He's right there!" You want to like move over there and just shoot him. Go for it. Give you a gaze roll for this. A 6?
I'll invoke my bloodline of being an eye, so that way I can find hidden details.
Okay, then before you pull the trigger, you can already see that in the room, like creeping around on the walls, are small slithering things. They are not Icepeak's eels. They are in the cracks of the walls. They're everywhere. Everywhere. As Blue is backing up towards the wall, one of them is like directly about to just reach out towards her, and others are on the way. You can either take the shot to save Blue, who's in the most danger of this, or you can shoot Director Elfman directly in his exposed weak point.
I feel like having seen Blue just stab him and it didn't really work, he may not feel 100% that like this one shot will be the one that does it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably fire off a shot right behind Blue to take out the weird tongue bug.
We'll say you can fire off several shots with a roll of 6. I mean, for all the tongues that are coming, because there's more than one that's like approaching her.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it will start. Yeah, it's like the knife trick at like circuses. He's just gonna shoot around her in a perfect outline.
Blue. Then all you see is Mikey just aiming towards you and shooting. Do you wince? Do you duck?
Yeah, I'll duck.
When you go to duck from those shots, directly under you, like you just basically dropped your hand into Elfman, your chin into Elfman's hand, who's just waiting there from the action. He just kind of swiftly came in and waited for you. And as you're waiting there, and you could feel, first of all, his hand is very gentle. It's not rough at all. There's no callus. It's just kind of weird, clammy a little. And just holds you there for a moment and says, "Oh, you okay? Did the bullet scare you?"
He's just gonna like roll out of his grip.
Yeah, get out. You can absolutely get out of his grip. That's fine. But as you're rolling away and his hand is leaving your body, he's pulling away. You can feel it passing through your body, like a version of you. He's just pulling it right out of the flesh, like pulling the fabric off of a bed. And this thing appears beside you. He just just like with Towner, he just slaps it down on the ground with this very wet squelch, and it rises up, shaking off mucus and various just drippings of blood and other fluids. It stands up, this twisted version of yourself with one eye bleeding. This thing speaks to you as Elfman sees it and then starts walking lazily towards Mikey, just into his direction. This clone of you, this doppelganger, looks, first of all, it has knives in its back and its chest, and it's holding its hands together, leaning in towards you almost pleadingly, as if begging you to remove the blades from its body. We had to do what we had to do to survive. So what if someone else gets hurt? As long as we make it out okay. And they might trust you, sure. then this whole world's like you either betray or you get betrayed. No other options. Never was. It coughs up blood and then tries to fall over onto you, grab at you.
Like, what the fuck's happening? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, try to back away from her.
Oh, it gets bigger. Internal affairs. All your friends here in AQUA. Even the people along the way. The nice fishermen, the little townspeople. Oh, they still have nightmares about you, Blue. Nightmares about us. It's getting larger, and the blood from its eyes getting thicker, pouring out in greater volume as it's just coming towards you, attempting to grab you. That comes as a 3, not a 1. So it's going to invoke its sticky nature, making that 3 of 5.
Yeah, I'll boost mine. I'll maintain control my need.
Okay. Yeah, you need to maintain control, so you absolutely struggle against this thing. But you feel it hasn't fully grabbed onto or clung to you yet, but its arms are basically like you're fighting physically against this thing. And in fact, your need to maintain control and deny what it said seems to make it all the more powerful. It's getting stronger as you're resisting. So for now, you're not seized by this thing, but it's there. It does not seem like a fight you're going to win if you just try to brute force your way out. He looks at you. Blue, roll me a gaze roll. Something here, all of his faces get spooked. He vanishes. He just disappeared. It looks like he was about to strike down on you, but then he sees something. His face is all transfixed on it, and he just disappears into the mist like he did before.
So while he was looking at me?
In your direction.
In my direction.
When he emerges from the mist, he's standing right by Clinton, grabbing him. Don't make me do it. Don't get cute. Clint is tied up and can't do much. The problem with them, little human, is they care too much because they haven't seen the worst of you. I thought maybe Soft Cell would be a good illustration. But they seem to like you quite a bit. I wonder if they would like you after seeing what you have to hide. Oh, you've seen this magic trick before, humans and mermen alike. When a truth gets revealed, everyone can take a look. And he just swipes one hand through Clint's face, like his fingers pass through the flesh. And he slams a wet, bloody slab onto the ground. Clint falls backwards and basically passes out over in the corner, stumbling away. A new form arises from that bloody slab. Not quite as deep-sea and eldritch oily as yours, but stranger and more frightening than you would expect perhaps to rise from someone like him. A hooded figure stands up, flexes once, and then flexes hard twice to spray gore off of itself. It appraises the room. Death is all I am good for. To kill and to execute those who have done harm, those who would wish ill, human or otherwise. I've killed thousands, and I'll kill millions more before I'm done. Billions, even. Those who are guilty will be punished and executed. This thing is starting to march in a direct line towards you, Icepeak. It's trying to say something to you as it grabs you.
Oh, good.
Do you allow it, or do you you slither?
She'd rather not. Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. So I'm gonna try to slither away.
You get away from its grasp, but it's continuing to, it seems like, pursue you. It's like walking after you with its arms outstretched.
So I turn into a bunch of eels and sort of slither under this desk to try to hide.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's your medical vest?
It might be on me, but too big.
Yeah. Well, if you break apart into eels, do you try to carry it with you?
Yeah, like it
Okay.
rides along the eels.
It's following
Yeah.
you, just kind of mindlessly like a zombie. But I mean, it took its action, so it can't do much. It's just trying to grab at you, like not very well coordinated. Not yours. Give it back. Give it back.
Oh. Can I slide it out from under the vest from under the desk?
Yeah. Do you just give him the vest?
Yeah.
Okay. This executioner's giant man in an executioner's hood, just covered in scars and tattoos. The tattoos are like number counts and skulls. There's one of the moon on the shoulder, just like a tattoo of the moon with a skull in the middle of it. When he sees that vest, he grabs it and just curls around it and goes into a fetal position, clinging to it. This doppelganger is disabled.
She's probably gonna yell at Towner to get it together. In fact, she's gonna use her coordinator to, because she's gonna need him for what she's about to attempt.
You want to create an advantage for him? Sure, you can do that.
Help me get his tongue out!
He just walks over here, kicks this clone just across the room, or out of his way, and then stands there with his fists on his hips and his chest puffed out, like inviting you to do it. Come right at him.
Did he like sense that I wanted to go to him and just like
Yes.
met me? Okay. She's going to go for it anyway. She's gonna try to grab his middle head and open his mouth.
You want to try to grab and pry open his head.
Yeah, specifically so Towner, who's already someone that's made contact with him, like her, can help get that tongue out.
Okay. He allows you to open his mouth. You don't even have to roll for it.
What? Does it seem like she could just make the attempt herself?
You could just open, yeah, you can just open his mouth and tear his tongue out if you want.
Okay, she's gonna do that. She's gonna like, grab that tongue and rip it out, seeing that, you know, she has a chance at it.
Okay. Once you lay hands upon the tongue, you feel something familiar. You feel a wetness at the corners of your eyes, and your strength just isn't there to fully seize this thing. Because that familiar feeling is the one, it just hits you all of a sudden, one you know about. This strange, ethereal, eldritch horse leans over your shoulder with its head and says, "You're still not over it, and you never will be," and starts to curl around you, almost as if to embrace you. He's gone, and they never apologized. In this entire human world, they'll never make another one like him. Atlantis never cared. Oh, but Avicii does. He wants to see them all die. He wants to see them all in the ocean, like where they should be, beautiful and immortal, like we are. And it begins to just spiral around you with its body. Even though you're holding this very weak point in your hand, whether it's by willpower or just trauma hitting you, you can't seem to do it. Fully close your fingers over this. This roll comes with a +6.
Oh,
Want to fate point it or just let it ride?
I would need like 2 fate points at least.
You'd need 3.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it ride. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
That's all true to her anyway.
What do you say either mentally or out loud after this thing?
She's not gonna say anything. She's just gonna tighten up because that's all super true, and she's just done her best not to think about it. But maybe there is something to the Dagonite draw that is a little compelling.
Okay. This thing is going to cling to you, but it does not get larger. And your hand, like, it's pulling you away from Danny, so you can't, like, your hand just slips right off. Plus the tongue is slippery, extremely slippery, even though it's like got segmented armor parts.
Yeah, she just lets it happen. She just relaxes, and she's a bit withered right now.
Icepeak, how do you respond to this? Like seeing this happen?
I'm under the deck, so they're right above me.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Atlantis cares for you.
You feel Icepeak as you say that a hand kind of just holds you on your shoulder. That's right. Help your friend. The hand just kind of like grabs you and pulls you in a little.
I try to turn apart into eels, which is probably too late.
Yeah, it's a little late. As you burst apart in the eels, the hand falls right through the mass and pulls another version of you out, quite a bit larger than you are right now, slapping it down onto the ground. Oof. What have we found ourselves in? What a mess. Smooths its hair back. Looks to you, Icepeak, and begins to adjust its black clothing. This man, quite handsome, very tall, lean and slim, like you are. Look at you. Are you okay down there?
Problematic, no?
Just a tad. What do you say we just move on? This is getting messy. Wouldn't it be easier to slither away?
Quite easier, but I'd prefer to get something done.
The thing about it is something that I have been trying to come to grips about. Does it really matter what these organisms do or say, how long they live for? It's more a matter of what they can provide. And your friends are friends. They are falling down on the job right now. How are we supposed to live and cling to anything else when all around us we are only supported by pillars of weakness, fault, frailty, fear, betrayal? None of them thinking. He taps his head. I don't know how we can put up with it sometimes.
For the weaker beings so we are, we must cling to something.
True. And there is something quite big in the room to cling to. Motions towards Danny. And something bigger than him, even. Avicii himself. Now, I know we want to keep our free will, and nobody wants to be a zombie or anything, but it's good to be practical. It's good to be safe, on the back of a large predator. Mm,
A parasite and a terror, no interest.
phew, are you sure? He leans closer.
I'm sure I could make friends elsewhere, just as powerful.
Like we are attempting to make friends with Sunny, Fortuna, and DOROBO.
She smirks and shrugs. Well, she has to reform a little bit to be a toddler and shrug. So you got me.
Of course I do. All your manipulations are straight out of a playbook for espionage. We make good with the locals, we hide our identity, we make sure to hobnob with whoever we think is the most rebellious and powerful faction leader. But in the end, we also know that if necessary, we will break his neck, yes?
I have considered it, but I would prefer not to. I like my little pets.
Of course, and that's all they are. You know, I think Avicii missed out not making us crown.
Well, of course, but I am too weak for such things.
For now. But in time, once we drain life and nutrients from others, we could be quite strong. Very strong, and much smarter. Should we do with our friends here in Aqua once we have reached such heights?
Well, I would hope to make them just as powerful.
But not more powerful. Because, if necessary, just like Mr. Fortuna, one of their necks may need to be broken. We can leave them alive so that we can continue to feed as necessary. But if they step out of line, threaten our interests or the peace of the world as we know and love it, then we should be without hesitation when it comes to taking care of the problem, like a thinking, logical person would, yes?
All logical, but I have sacrificed myself for less.
He gets bigger.
Oh.
There is something still hesitant within you, I think. It is good to sound altruistic in front of your friends, but we know better. We know much, much better than that. Along the way to survive in the way that we have, there is not much room for moralizing, ethics, or even friendship for that matter. What matters most is always survival, whether it's from being a parasite or a predator. We will do what we must at all times, preserve our thoughts, our free will, and of course, just a hint of integrity like salt in the stew. The guise of it helps us to blend in better. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I agree that it is one of the best masks, but I've never expected myself to live. It's just helpful that my form keeps so.
He gets bigger.
Oh,
You can see the eels wriggling beneath his skin. I still see something else hidden within you. The lies in your words. You think it easy to simply lie to yourself, but you have seen now what the crown can do when it is applied to you. Let me ask you this then, dear self of mine. If we could kill the girl over there, emotions at Maddie, and stop our enemies from getting stronger, which they inevitably will, would we hesitate to do so for sentimentality? Remember, I am you.
then allow me to prove you wrong in action. And I'd like to grab the desk chair and throw it at the window with Maddie.
You throw it at the window. Wait, are you throwing it at Maddie and the window? Like you're throwing the chair through her?
No, through the window.
Okay, give me a brain trust roll, I guess. Well, you can break the window, yeah, with the chair.
And then my eels from outside reach in to grab Maddie and pull her out.
You pull her out, but he gets bigger,
Oh!
just as I thought. He's like a giant now looming over you.
Well, he already was. I was a toddler.
Yeah, true. Danny sees this and he will try to rush over, but you're right there, Enya. You can try to stop him if you want. And I'll say Claudia too. Claudia, if you want to do anything to try and stop him.
She's gonna half-heartedly flip the desk so that it is like a barrier for a momentary.
Okay, give me a suppress roll.
I basically want to take this trash can that's next to me and throw it under his feet so that when he's kind of bounding forward, kind of trips.
Spend one fate point, load it up with daggers, and then fire it at him like a shotgun or a flat cannon.
Sure.
Okay.
Dope.
All you gotta do is just strike it really hard once you've loaded it up, and just fire all that spray of daggers at him. Claudia, go ahead and give me a martial arts expert roll with we'll say with your cover and your invoke a +4, so a 6. He does get over your barrier, and you watch him walk into it. You watch his upper half break off, and then you watch as he just continues to travel over it as if he was about to fall, and then parts of his spine and lower muscle, his torso, just extend downwards, thundering down towards the ground, shooting down to create feet and legs, which begin to wrap with flesh as he walks to the other side. The discarded lower half of him just falls over, like dead. It's just meat. But as he's about to reach out and grab at Maddie, this hailstorm, this just big cluster of daggers just like sink right into his shoulder and tear off one of the arms, causing it to just go flying out towards this opposite wall over here. Before he can you can see grasped within its fingers are a few strands of Maddie's hair. He was really about to just grab onto her, but Claudia, you just like took his arm right off. Maddie is basically extracted out the window by a chain of eels. All of you, except for two of you, are dealing with doppelgangers, some of which are getting very big now. Once his arm is gone and he sees Maddie's gone, he walks over to his arm, removes a wristwatch that was on that giant arm of his with his hand, undoes it, and then puts it onto his arm with an arm that grows back, and just reapplies the watch and looks down at it, and then holds it up to you, Claudia. You know, I am glad you missed this one. I got this for years of service with the Guam military. It would have been a shame if it got damaged. It's not particularly expensive, and I'm sure there are many like it, but I've always been fond of this, you know. It's this great feeling I have to look upon it and know that every human involved in the process of its design, its choice, its shopping, looked at it and made sure that it was a good gift. Every single one of them is going to die. I'm going to kill them all personally if I can. I'm going to grab them by their throats and wring the air right out of their lungs. I'm going to set their homes on fire and then block the doors so that they can't escape with their families. I'm going to seize the firearms that they've used against me, those firearms being ineffective against my flesh. I'm going to turn it around and aim it at them and fire it point blank into their face. So as long as this wristwatch is okay, I'll always remember just how good it will feel to finally retire humanity from its workplace of the planet Earth. He dangles his wrist at you a little. Well, and then he waits. You've got more knives. And he holds it up, and then he holds it down, and then he stretches out to the left, and then to the right. Go on. And he just starts waving his arm. You can do the same trick again. Go ahead. Destroy it. Go on. It's just a little trophy. It's a keepsake, a memento, a weak point. Go ahead. Destroy it. Oh, here, let me help you. And he pulls his tongue out and then wraps it around the wrist where the watch is and then holds it still. Go ahead. Take a shot. You could kill me right now.
I think I'm good.
No. He feeds the tongue back into his own mouth. I'm starting to think that you all aren't very good at this. You see him recoil and wince slightly. Huh? What was that? He recoils again. Huh? And he vanishes into the mist. Right now, he is currently hiding, and you can feel his presence looming around the room. But he is preparing to strike. Mikey, how many bullets do you think you have left?
I would assume that Mikey would have had a full clip, like loaded in. You know,
How many rounds is that?
I don't know. Clint didn't tell me, and
You can make it up.
It's a weird experimental rifle.
I'll tell you this: the less bullets you have, the more effective they'll be.
How many of those tongue things did I shoot?
3.
I was gonna say probably like it's a 10-round clip. So
okay, you have
I shot
7.
3 of them, 7 shots left.
You have the chance. Roll gaze against him as he looks like he's bounding through the mist at you. It's a 4. That misses. He bounds over here. Roll gaze again. 3. Misses. He bounds over here. Roll again. 5. Almost hits. How many rounds do you have? Or how many you have 4 rounds left, right?
Yes.
How many fate points do you have?
I have 2.
Do you want to spend one to hit him?
Yeah, I'll clip him now.
You watch his trajectory as he's bounding through the smoke, and then you can predict, we'll say, where he's going to bound out of next. What do you invoke?
I'll invoke my motto, which is know the enemy.
Then you are able to, in fact, like stop him. Where did you shoot him?
Jumping around, it's probably the legs or like the hip, just something to knock momentum off.
You blast him through one of his brand new, fresh legs, causing him to crumble to the ground momentarily and brace himself as you blow off the lower half of his left leg. It just goes sliding away across the ground. He looks at you a little surprised. Ooh, you're fast. He doesn't seem bothered about the leg, but that's probably not a surprise.
Yeah, no. When fighting mer people, he's probably not surprised that anybody ever cares that they lose something.
But I wonder how fast you are, really. You know, the human tongue is one of the strongest muscles in the body of a human, that is. Underestimated, perhaps, and overshadowed by other muscles in the body. It is, in fact, one of the most graceful parts of the anatomy, used to shape words, to move food, and it can be rather. He just blinks out for a moment, and you can hear it behind you. Swift. How quickly do you think you could spin around with that rifle?
I don't have bones, so I can just completely.
Yeah.
I can text
Nice.
like a Tex Avery cartoon wringing itself out of water. Like he just completely spins at the hip and just turns around and just goes pretty quick and pulls the trigger on him.
So that's like freeze frame there as this guy is just moving in over, just dwarfing you, about ready to bring his fist down, and then you spinning around and just firing and saying that. Freeze frame on that. Commercial break.
I love
Yes.
this.
No
This
bones.
was fun.
No bones.
No
No bones.
bones. No bones. Just banging the table. But it doesn't make a hard sound because we have no bones, so it's just us slapping.
I just want someone to call 911 and just say, I'd like to get the help of a police officer. Could they be boneless?
No.
Can I get those boneless cops? I want them dressed too. Some dressed, no bones cops.
Why?
No, it's perfect.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Mikey, you spun around and just shot him. Point blank with a pretty high-powered rifle. He's a crown, and that wouldn't even put down most mermen that are at your level. Is there any particular part you're aiming for?
The watch or his mouth, whichever one I guess I would see first.
I guess the watch. So you just blast right through it. Yeah, you watch.
Yeah, takes the wrist and everything. Just all gone.
Takes it right off. Hand just goes flipping right off. You watch as the hand goes tumbling away towards a distant wall. Landslides, rolls over. Somewhere we'll say around where, the wall sort of not far away from Towner. Gets up on its middle and index fingers as if they were legs. Uses its pinky and thumb to brush itself off. Turn towards you and begin to sprint back towards you, using its little fingers like legs. Like it's just gunning it for you. You have time, because you're an expert sniper, to do something about it. Like you could have watched it travel and then fly over there.
Yeah, I have eyes all around my head. When Clint and I had the conversation about the gun, there was the mention of like how it has no recoil because it's a weird special gun. Like fire it one-handed. I'm just gonna whip my arm around like the wrongest way and just take a shot because the eyes are all around my head. I don't have to turn my head to look. I can see it.
Okay, give me a shot. Give me a roll of slick. The hand jumps up into the air and covers itself, and then you see it explode into a ball of smoke and fire as the bullet passes through it, and you notice that it's missing its ring finger and its pinky, so one of its arms. It slides, rolls on the other side, kind of stumbles a little, and then like looks up at you with, well, you can't tell, it doesn't have a face, but it seems to be determination, especially because it's like taking some small fragments of cloth and leather from the destroyed couches and then using it to wrap around its wounded pinky finger like a turnip. And then once it's finished, it like stares up at you or turns its like nub towards you and then really starts sprinting. You have time for one more round before it reaches you.
Yeah, I'll take the shot.
You shoot off both of its legs. It goes sliding along the ground face down, and then it's using its thumb to try and pull itself towards you. It's about, we'll say, right around here. This hand is just very weakly struggling to get at you.
I think I can hopefully get around it without having to continue to shoot at it.
It just finally, once it sees that it can't get any closer to you, starts pounding the floor with its thumb fist.
Is it tapping out a message?
No, it's just, it seems frustrated. Give me a gaze roll. Wow. So though this is just a detached hand that's just been had its legs and one of its arms blown off, you can tell that within it is the need to live, to carry out its task, to assassinate you perhaps, or try to control you, or just attack. Now you've completely disabled it with your rifle and left it to live this victory-free life, this defeat, this disgrace. And though it doesn't have eyes, you can see that from the amputated stub of its wrist, the nub part, you can see blood trickling down where eyes would be, like tears, a furious regret, and just bitter contempt. And it keeps trying to just drag itself slowly towards you. This goes on for about a second, and then the moment is shattered by a loud gunshot. Danny is holding a smoking pistol and aimed it down at this hand and executed it. Whew. That was dramatic. Jeez. Really gotta hand it to him. That was quite a performance. What? He looks around, and he like dangles the firearm that he has in his hand. It's not like I can't grow another one. Losers in any race deserve to just sit down, whether it's the race to get towards a target or the race that they exist within, as in the classification. He crushes the gun in his hand. Oh, he opens his hand up and then, with his newly spawned hand, begins to try to unfold the gun. No, this one was expensive. I won it in a golf game. Oh, it's ruined. You did this. He just pokes a finger right in your chest, Mikey.
Technically, you did.
It doesn't do anything when he pokes you in the chest. You just feel it. It's just a big finger.
You could have just left it.
I'm hearing, he points to you and Claudia, just a lot of judgment right now, and I don't need it.
Then just stop. What do you...
Oh, okay. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye?
Where are you going?
I'm leaving.
Where?
I don't know.
No?
What do you mean, no?
No, you're clearly, you've committed a bunch of crime, and, you've definitely told us you did it. You're under arrest. You can't just leave.
Oh, here we go. And then what?
What do you mean, what? I don't...
Mikey, you hear a voice behind you speak up. Don't let him leave. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna kill everyone. Don't let him go anywhere.
Would I see who's whispering?
Yes. You have eyes in the back of your head, and they see other eyes. You're an amorphous being, so you didn't feel quite as much pain and pressure. But there is one gooey boy with eye stalks just lurking behind you, hiding behind you. Just kill him, and then you have a gun now? You can hide in the dark and kill everyone.
Do I know you?
He tries to get closer and he's grabbing onto you. Yeah, it's me, Mikey. The eyes spin around and then wrap around each other, getting twisted for a moment.
Hi.
Whoa, don't yell at me.
I'm not?
Look, he's leaving. He's not paying attention. And then, true to that, Director Elfman is just walking away from you. We could just hide in the shadow and behind here. He points to the nearby bar. You just hide behind there. Come on, it's safe. He just motions over. Come on, let's go. Come on, maybe they have some dried fruit. Let's go.
I'm fine here, thanks.
Let's go! He grabs you and then starts clinging to you. This is stickier than you've ever felt anything. He's clingy and you're clingy. So his nature is super clingy. He is extremely sticky. He's just melting, almost melting with you as he grabs onto you. Come on! Come on! He's pulling you. And this is probably not something that you're used to because you've been just a slug, your whole existence. So you're kind of you're in a bit of a bind here. He's attempting to just pull you away. And he's like keeping you from, you have, I think, one shot left in your gun. Okay. Yeah, so he's trying to just like get the gun down and just pull you. This cling comes with a +6. Let's see how he does. Oof, a 7. Just admit it. Me? Now, what's even the point of me even saying that? Because everything that I feel is normal, and the things that we experience are all like perfectly reasonable. And I just think we should hide. You be better at hiding and not being in the way, and then taking a shot when we can, because that's what you do when there are predators around that are bigger than you. That just makes sense. He's trying to pull you as he talks.
So Mikey's seen everybody else in, and I guess the room is small enough that he's probably heard them all talk to each other. So he knows that when they have lied, they've gotten bigger, especially Towner.
Yeah.
Mikey will let himself get dragged.
He will drag you kind of, we'll say, right around here, and try to push you behind the bar counter. All right, get in there. Just hide there, and wait.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Hey, you're welcome. By the way, they're always watching you all the time. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, you knew that. They're always watching you, waiting for you to do things so that they can get rid of you. They act like they're your friends, but the humans, I mean, it's not just them, I guess. Probably some Daganites as well. I-types, they get a lot of flack because they see stuff and they know stuff, so they gotta die. So in terms of who's gonna die first, it's gonna be you, probably. Well, us, probably. Nobody else seems really that concerned about it because we're pretty cool about things. But if you get right down to it, that's a cool gun. He takes the gun right off of you. Anyway, if you get right down to it, checking the gun, like really, we just got to rely on ourselves mostly, and probably worry about other people. Like, he kind of thumbs towards Clint. That guy's okay, I guess, but who knows how many mermen he's probably practiced on. He looks down the sights of the gun. Yep, I'm sure he's hit a lot of moving targets, that guy. And he taught us how to shoot. And plus, he's weird. I bet he's got, like, weird tattoos. He hands you the gun back. Hey, here you go.
I mean, I never asked. The tattoos don't matter. I mean, unless they're like bad. And I don't mean bad like they were poorly done. I mean, like, representative of sinister organizations.
Well, like, what if he had an Illuminati tattoo?
I mean, I guess I don't know how I feel about the Illuminati.
Well, just think about it for a second. Like, there's a group of people just like behind the scenes controlling everything. Now, yeah, we just kind of assume that's the case, but when you get down to it, I mean, they're also kind of like programming people to think a certain way. So even the fear of the name or suspicion of it really could just be a bait and switch for somebody that's perceptive, like, well, us. On the other hand, there could be things that are just happening while we're distracted by the very obvious Illuminati conspiracies that they're releasing at any given time. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I'm you. You're thinking, well, this all just sounds like nonsense. And normally I'd agree, but let's just review things carefully for a moment, because we've learned a lot. There are people from the moon that are controlling things. There are entities that are currently walking around that seem way more aware, and some of them, like this guy, he kind of like motions towards Danny, don't even seem to really give a shit whether they live or die, even though they're really, really powerful and strong. It's almost like the entire thing's some kind of facade or something, or game. And quite frankly, that's a little irritating, because really, what does that even mean? If it's a game, does that mean that I'm just a piece in the game? Probably I am. And then what happens when the piece in the game isn't fun anymore? Well, they get rid of it usually, or they replace it with someone else. I wonder who they'll replace us with, just like Avicii's going to replace all of us eventually with somebody else. Hey, buddy. He like pulls you closer. maybe it's better if we just, get more guns.
Oh no, I like this one. It was a gift. It's sentimental.
It's going to run out of bullets eventually, though. In fact, I think we're just down to one.
Well, I mean, you can always buy more bullets.
Yeah, we should buy more bullets. I was thinking, I don't know how many, like 20, 30 cases.
Well, I mean, that's a lot.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that probably aren't bulletproof. So maybe they're going to come for us like any moment. In fact, if you really think about it, these guys in soft cell probably not the only ones. There's probably other ones. Hey, do you remember the screaming? Me? Do you remember the screams? I remember the screams. Do you remember? He's just getting closer as he says it. Do you remember what that sounded like? Do you remember the screams from the heavens themselves, from the stars? Remember the man in the mask?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. His face is like pretty much stuck against yours at this point. I remember the screams. I'll always remember the screams. I'll never forget what they sounded like.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have had time to sleep, I'd probably hear them. A lot of stuff has happened in a day.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough. We should probably get more bullets.
How about we take care of this first, and then we'll talk about bullets.
All right, I think we should take care of this first by hiding back here and then waiting to get more bullets.
We are back here.
Yeah, when you say we are back here, he's gonna re-roll that. He's gonna invoke his empty vessel. That's terrible. Oh my god! Wow. So as he's trying to lean in and whisper something to you, what it just really comes out sounding like to you is, it just sounds like nonsense. You can roll against a -1 if you want, but I don't think you're gonna need to.
Yeah, what do I need to roll against myself?
Probably.
My mental state.
I'll say that this isn't gonna do any damage to you, but you can roll understanding if you want to understand what he's saying to you. Yeah, 2 will work. The thing he's saying is, the endless abyss is awaiting all of us, and we will return to there one day. Whether we walk in the sun or not, it will open up and swallow everything, and we know that's true. But it doesn't really... It's not resonating. It's not hitting like it maybe should. This eldritch horror thing, it's not doing it. Something about it is off.
I guess since they're still touching faces, Miichael will just go, yeah, no, I totally get you. Just real quick. And he just I guess he peers over the bar and sees what Danny is doing.
Danny is currently marching towards Towner.
I guess Mikey will shout to the room, just go,
don't listen to them. It's just lies. I mean, they're just weird versions of us. So just stop listening to them. There's truth in what they're saying, but they're weird. They're wrong.
Oh, when you say that, this thing falls off and just shrivels. Nothing happens. It just falls right off.
Oh. Okay, yeah, just don't believe in them.
No, that wasn't it. Something else you said.
Well, that's what Mikey would.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time. I know.
Yeah.
D&D, there's 6 seconds around, so I don't think he gets to speak at this insane.
It's JoJo. You got a whole paragraph.
Yeah.
Shouting while you're lying on the ground with a gaping chest wound.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess watching himself just kind of melt off of him. He just goes,
yeah, these things, they tell the truth, but it's a twisted truth. Just believe the real truth, the actual truth. Towner, you like to eat stuff. I've seen you bite criminals. You've definitely eaten a hand holding a gun once before. I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Towner, have you ever eaten a criminal's hand while he was holding a gun?
Absolutely.
You gotta disarm him.
Do you accept that you enjoy the taste of human flesh?
Yeah, I think you would.
This thing lets go of you and just dissolves, hitting the ground. Danny sees this and just nods. Good. We're accepting ourselves now. He's close enough to you, Towner, if you want to make an attack against him. But it seems like physical attacks don't do a whole ton without a little extra something. You've got an extra something. You got metal jaws. No, you
Metal
already had
jaws?
metal jaws from the last, I'll say, scene. I mean, you probably didn't. I don't think you dropped your metal. Danny just holds one hand out to you, Towner. Congratulations, son. You've done it. Put her there.
It's bait. That's just bait, but that's okay. Towner's dumb. He'll take the bait. He'll just eat his arm, bite
Okay.
his arm.
Give me a bite roll.
It's a 4 because it's a combat roll, so I guess if
Oh,
I invoke
yeah.
once, it'll beat it.
True, but you might want to
Oh.
do a lot more damage to him.
Well, I only have the one fate point.
Only the one?
And you did
Oh,
try
yeah,
to
she
control
created a
him
boost
earlier.
for you. Yeah. She created an advantage, I guess, encouraging you to work more tactically. So, yeah,
Bite.
we'll say you that 3 becomes an 8.
I'll invoke his motto, or Avicii's motto, which is "I like biting things."
He goes to shake your hand. You can see his face doesn't change, and then he waits a moment, and then he looks down at his missing arm, and it's bleeding now, and then looks at you, or his missing just forearm. That's rude.
You're rude, making an evil me.
Evil you? I think it was good you. You're the evil you. That's the truth.
Stop confusing me! And he can't this turn, but he'll try and bite him again.
No, you can. Go ahead and give him another bite. Yeah, you want to clash? Feeding frenzy time. Hit
we
bite
can still
3
do
times.
that?
3, 3, 4. It was a noble attempt, but as you're just chomping into him, he is peeling himself away and losing bits of flesh into your mouth. It looks like he's trying to retract away because you actually could do way more damage to him with those metal teeth. And seeing you as a considerable threat, he turns around at the heel, pulls way the fuck back, and just drives a fist right. It doesn't go through your body, and it doesn't break your teeth like maybe he wanted to, but it sends you flying through a wall, leaving a massive crater.
Oh my.
You get rocketed out. But here's the thing. We'll say you actually fly off into this direction. Just through the window. There's one last bite roll you can make. As something large and black is passing by you and you can smell blood in the sky, you have one opportunity to make a bite roll against a passive opposition of 4. Oof. Actually, it's a 5. It's a 4 because of your Hulk feature. So,
Yay.
you are able to bite something that was trying to grab at something that was going down the wall, and then take him along with you. At some point, I assume you would let go of that entity, right?
Presumably, yeah.
And you're in the midst. You have a bit to go, but yeah, this figure goes flying away, rolling through the air. You can just hear it say, "That's rude. That's ignorant." You have prevented Miichael from abducting Maddie. Good job.
Yay.
And now you can go to sleep a hero. I guess you've stopped him from finding his dream girl.
Please beat up this large, stupid man.
We're
one?
trying.
Night, Tanner.
In fighting game terms, Towner has been ring out, but he managed to get something nice on the way out. Blue and Enya, you have learned from Mikey and now Towner that accepting the truth will cause these things to just dissolve. Blue, do you accept that you're more or less a traitor by nature sometimes, but by requirement, necessity, that you've betrayed?
Well, one, I was gonna say to the other form person, yes, I do what I have to, but it's for a greater purpose.
She gets bigger. Greater purpose like what? Other than survival. What does that mean? She's leaning over you and grabbing you, spilling blood on your coat.
You know, my ultimate goal is to expose the greater evils. And sometimes I have to do unsavory things towards that purpose. Yes, I admit it.
It seems to not grow bigger, but it doesn't precisely let go. Leans in closer. There's one thing you want more than anything, though. One reason you keep doing this, and it isn't for justice. It isn't for good. and it isn't to stop evil. There's one thing you want, one thing we want. You know what it is. Just say the word. This thing is, I will say, on the
I
verge
want
of
revenge. Yes.
yes, it dissolves when you say revenge. It hits the ground, turns, crumbles, curdles into this bloody pile, and then turns into nothingness. Danny looks like he's about to say something to you, Blue, and then just flits away. He doesn't like being over there too much. And yeah, you also have a chance. You can see that Danny is now approaching the barrier Claudia has made and is about to crawl over it. If you don't free yourself right now, there's a chance your squad mate may be in danger.
Yeah, Enya's just solemnly looking at it. She's thinking about what Icepeak said, and she says, Atlantis didn't care, and no one apologized. But I don't need it to, or need anyone to. And yeah, he'll never exist again. I know that. And my life isn't shining as bright as it was before, but I've seen that brightness. Maybe it's not just for me. It's, I hope, for everyone. She's just gonna turn to face Danny.
It doesn't let you. It's now big, this huge thing that's very bladed, growing more massive. But tell the truth, there is no hereafter for us, is there? He's gone to oblivion.
So what do I actually want to happen? For that reason, do I want them all to die?
It vanishes.
She's gonna refocus back onto Danny and just try to tackle him from the back.
When you try to tackle him from the back, one of his heads drops down from behind him, looking at you upside down, and begins to chant at you. The truth is, Avicii Dagon will always love you. All life is possible through Avicii. You can join him and be free of all suffering and pain. The words actually strangely seem to resonate with you. You don't take any damage, but they cause you to freeze in your tracks.
Oh. Well, she freezes up for the moment.
Icepeak. You see that now in the position that actually give me a brain trust roll. Yeah, you can see this. Putting the math together here, he is facing Enya and Claudia at the same time and has the ability, he has the molecular control to attack both of them from a position they may not be expecting, because Claudia might see him as being distracted and Enya might just think that that is just like a little taunt or something. But he's also setting himself up to be able to do a strange split attack that could threaten both of them at the same time. Unless you disperse your clone, you're not going to be able to do much about it. And no matter how many eels you turn into, this thing is definitely going to be still clinging to you.
He's also full of eels. I do say, look out, he is targeting you both. And then I turn and very calmly ask, so what is it I must accept from you?
I don't know. Nothing?
Nothing?
Nothing. There is nothing to accept because there's nothing wrong with you. You are perfect.
Oh, she wins. I am not sure I believe that.
Oh, there's no need to be humble in front of them. You are the perfect life form in many ways. You will exist probably when stars burn out, if you are smart.
I will attempt. Will you break that window for me?
No, I don't think I will be doing that. What are you, ridiculous? You think that I am easy enough to fool or trick? I have just as many brains as you do.
Oh, I'm aware of that, but I figured you were me, so you may be helpful.
No, 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 dear. At the core of us is not this thing, no. At the core of us is a different thing. You only want to break the window because, well, it looks good to look good in front of them. But truthfully, this man you can barely trust. He lies. He's some kind of criminal, no doubt about it. Some sort of, who knows? Maybe like the men who came to our village, hmm? The men who killed the people we cared for. who made us change who we are. Who's to say he is not different, or he is not supporting them, hiding what he has done? He must die in time if that is the case. All of them really probably should, for the sake of, well, completion.
I see you are my mistrust.
No, no, no. A voice of reason. Mistrust is too strong.
I do not trust many. I will admit that.
Then why should you? They're fools, arrogant, violent. They should lay down and die if we need them to, I think.
I do not wish to kill my prey.
Not all prey need to be killed, but there are some who do. Like the men. They need to be black and red. You remember them.
If mine is the same as hers, then honestly, I just wish my sister back. But if revenge it is, then that is all I can have.
Then it is no longer a conversation we need to have. I will not see you again, perhaps ever. Even if you look in the mirror, I may not be there. But know and rest assured, I will remember you when I no longer exist. Perhaps it will be the only thing of me left. What a terrible and frightening afterlife, to be the ghost of my own vengeance. It dissolves, but not like the others. It's a more quiet, gentle dissolution, turning into smoke, and then blowing away through the broken window that you made earlier. Claudia, this guy is about to just. He looks like he's about to unload some kind of attack towards you and towards Enya, but you heard Icepeak shout. We'll say you have one action before he does what he is going to do.
She'll pepper her barrier with daggers. Just kick it up straight towards him to intercept the attack.
And I guess push the knives through with the kicks. You pay a fate point for the grenade. You kick it. Give me a martial arts expert roll. Why not? You have a +1 to that roll. You kick this desk wood kind of like thing up towards him. I'm going to say, for the sake of it not being shaped towards you, the grenade gets pushed through the desk and explodes right on top of him. But I am also going to say that you know that a conventional grenade wouldn't take this dude down. So this is an attack to create an advantage. Unless you feel like you want to try to do shifts.
Creating an advantage for someone is fun.
Yes, the explosion goes off, causes him to stumble backwards with his many limbs, many faces like split open, kind of screaming, only the legs still holding up. And even then, like, there's still damage from the leg shot that Mikey caused earlier. This is the part where normally, unfortunately, Towner isn't here. But now with him split open and you've all like overcome your demons, as it were, or at least like confronted them, this is now going to be open to a squad action. I will say you have two choices here for how you may want to execute your squad action, and it will make a big difference in the outcome. You can either seek to kill him, or you can seek to bring him to justice, which for some of you may mean killing him, but for others may mean having him stand trial.
This thing isn't a peer among men. This is a monstrosity. We should probably put him down.
This is an easier question. As a squad, you have to determine right now, are you men of the sea or are you men of the land?
We're men of the sea.
Well, that means murder. So Enya's vote is for murder. Icepeak, what is your vote for?
Say murder.
I don't.
You admitted it. You want revenge.
I'm just gonna run over and heal Clint. I don't know. This is not particularly the man I want revenge against, though.
Just say you like murder now. It's fine.
It's fine. I mean,
You get bonus murder now.
honest murder?
Yes.
You just devil on your shoulder.
He is a horrible, I don't know, like murderer. Yes.
It's the law of the depths. You know it.
Yeah, hey, he wants to go back to Avicii.
Is that the nice way to put it?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
You're just doing a science dissection. You're just helping us with that. If they die, it's an oops.
Oh,
Too much
actually,
anesthesia.
if it helps, Clint is awake and has one eye watching. His blindfold has slipped off, so he's witnessing this. Whatever you choose.
Oh no, that makes it worse.
The judgment. He's not an angel anymore.
It doesn't matter. I'm no good at murder, guys.
Can we come back to Icepeak?
Okay, Claudia, what do you want to do? You want to bring him to justice, or do you want to execute him where he is?
He is a merman of the land.
Bringing him to justice could put your kids at risk. He could do everything in his power to try and either get revenge or intimidate juries. Or he's a man who has a lot of connections, and he's like not even human, so holding him could be extremely difficult. Bringing him in, putting him behind bars or whatever it is that justice decides is right here, could put a lot of people at risk, including yourself and your loved ones. Executing him, on the other hand, could just solve the problem right now.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't be any better than Avicii or any of the crap.
So that's one vote no. Mikey, yes or no? Kill or take him in?
Oh no, we're taking him in.
Mikey is a land of the man. He's a man of the land. Blue, if this guy, this is extremely difficult for you because this guy has so many corrupt connections. It is possible he could try to use them to flip you against like your own people. He hasn't yet, but I'm pretty sure Rumor Rascal would have told you that fucking around with this guy is usually a big mistake. And he's a crown.
She would normally want to go through justice system, but she doesn't foresee him. I mean, he has so many like weird supernatural powers, and I don't know if that would be a good idea. And I think she would like to try to end him.
So that's 2 votes murder, 2 votes take him in. Ice Peak.
Oh no!
Oh no! No, it's even worse.
Oh, Clint is watching. I can't murder, guys. I can't. Even though it would be easier. No, I can't. I vote no murder.
The vote has been resolved. In the same way that you guys can look at each other and know like your squad action is coming up, you can look at each other and know 2 of you have murderous intent. 3 of you do not. Now is the time to determine your squad action then. Onion Blue, you can try to go against your own squad and murder him if you want, but things will be easier if all of you are in agreement about this. Too bad Towner isn't here. He probably would have voted for murder.
Yeah.
Would Mikey have picked up that he's weird with the cat?
I think anyone could have probably noticed he doesn't like being towards that corner, and the cat doesn't seem to be bothered by any of this shit.
That sounds about right for a cat.
Here's what I probably recommend if you want to take him in alive. Just probably separate his tongue from his body, and then use the cat to keep the tongue from rejoining.
Would his tongue be where his sense of self is?
Yeah, no, he's never hidden that.
Okay. Well, shit, that's simpler than... Oh, let's just do that.
Okay, then while his body is blown open...
Enya's gonna pull it taut as long as she can for her move, I guess.
And then Mikey, with your last bullet, you could probably shoot it clean off.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm either gonna shoot the body once the tongue's removed to just completely turn it off from whatever it might be able to do without him, but yeah, I'll snap that weird tongue.
I can like catch it with my fang.
Your fang.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, she's just gonna attach her knives to the grenade and just toss it right into the exposed parts.
Okay, and then finally, Icepeak, you have a part in this, but it seems destroying the body is probably important here. Then now is the time to execute your squad actions. First, starting with you, Enya. So you are reaching out to pull his tongue. That's a 3 against your 4. He cannot resist you grabbing his tongue. Yeah, he meets your impale, so he does not stop himself from getting stabbed. Jesus. Yeah, he can't stop the eels too in the moment like that after the time goes back to being normal. Okay, so you guys like do all this stuff. You go right through the motions. You get him the tongue separated. You separate the body from the tongue. Claudia, you throw the grenade. It hits. It lands. It does not go off. And the body is starting to reform, recover from the damage slowly. It's starting to pull back together. Though it seems to be a little discombobulated because it's missing the tongue.
This is the perfect time to go in and get off her stand. It's an armor stand, so it kind of forms around her, and I think decided that it amplifies her voice.
So you want to just jump in and scream to detonate the grenade?
Yes.
This isn't to see if you detonate it. This is to see how you do with the damage. Give me a martial arts expert roll. Okay. You take 10 shifts of explosive damage. So you're like thrown back against a wall. Your armor protected you from taking like serious consequences, but it could have been worse. This is a very risky maneuver. Yeah, just mark off your 4 and your 6. Like your armor is cracked right now, badly. But you were able to detonate it in time. Causing him to also take 5 shifts of damage. You're not dead, but that was serious. It'll take you some time to recover, and you're still getting used to your stand. In time, it could protect you even further, but you're still getting used to it. In the meantime, you did keep him from reforming, and once his body is hit with that damage, it just kind of explodes outward, spraying Enya pretty much with like gore and probably throwing you back, Enya, from like the sheer damage of that. So you just kind of get like land around here by the force of it. Yeah, Enya's flying. No, not vertically at least. And Danny is currently a tongue nailed to a wall by Blue's throwing blade. The tongue is it's wriggling around. It looks very active, and it's about to slip right off. In fact, it's already splitting itself around the knife and likely going to reform and slither away.
I was hoping to get it to the cat before.
Could just say the magic words. Once the cat hears this, you see it bound through the mist and smoke towards the wall where the tongue landed, and then reach up, run up the wall, just go completely vertical, do a flip, like an arcing backflip, snatch the tongue out of the air, slam it onto the ground as Ember lands, and then just start whipping it around furiously with its mouth, like a dog would almost, just whipping it against the ground. Throws it away. The tongue is shakily trying to get up and leave, and then you see Ember leap on the tongue and start cat punching it over and over, just smacking the shit out of this thing. And then Ember's stand manifests and also starts smacking oraoraing the tongue on the ground, just completely flattening it out, twisting it up, brutalizing this tongue.
Or just like a very intense purr.
Oh yeah, I think a purr would be good. That's how fast it's getting punched are the purrs. It's getting hit at such a rapid speed. Until, I mean, they don't do a lot of damage. Each attack maybe hits as hard as a cat smack, but this tongue is at some point collapses over onto its side and then just is trying to just get away from Ember. In the aftermath of this particular fight, you have like a few moments before emergency crews are, I'm assuming somebody would radio in that it is now safe to like come in and fully do a sweep. You have a few moments before the police will get to the second floor. Maddie is still outside, probably being helped by the police out there. They have no idea what the fuck happened. They just saw a woman descending with eels.
Toddle my way over to Clint to help him heal.
Yeah, how's Clint look?
He is really, I mean, he doesn't look good at all. Aside from the fact that he just got like thrown aside, kind of, he's also missing his tongue. One of his eyes looks like it's been pretty badly mangled. His ribs are probably broken. His arms are probably fractured, and he's likely also suffering from internal injuries. His breathing is ragged, but he is alive. There's also a lot of smoke, and while it may not be too much for you guys, he is having trouble even just taking a nice clean breath.
I start emergency repairs and then like maybe opening that window. to let some of the smoke out.
You go to open the window. When you turn back to Clint, what do you say?
Hang in there. I'm here for you. Hang in there.
He isn't moving. In fact, he stopped breathing.
I snap at Claudia and say, bring me that vest.
She hurries up and does so.
I put it into his hands and sort of like try to pump like through the vest his heart to get him to breathe again.
We'll say passive difficulty of 4.
Okay, then I'll have to spend both my points. A tactical medical officer and an orthodox eccentric doctor.
So as you're pumping and pumping on his chest to get his heart going again to the rhythm, you eventually do feel a weak breath and weak pulse when he comes back to life. But you can tell that it's faint without more thorough actual medical care, something he may not be able to get quick enough. He might not even make it to the stretcher, much less a hospital. He pulls some of his bindings on himself off weakly and just sits himself up against this office window. Hey, thanks for what you did.
Conserve your strength, please.
It's fine. I don't really feel anything right now.
This is not a good sign.
It means I'm better. He just kind of weakly tries to give you like a reassuring thumbs up, but he can't even lift his arm. It's just kind of bloody and shaking.
I put down his hand and I say, you deserve to live another life.
He was right. I saw that thing. I did a lot of bad stuff, and it's probably right. Yeah, it's probably right. This is okay.
You'll just have to do a lot of good to make up for it, as I must.
If you kill a man, then the most you can do is a lifetime of good. Now what happens if you kill hundreds, thousands? How many lifetimes do you have to do it for?
You
Humans
only
have...
do what you can in this life. Leave things undone, but sometimes it's a lot harder to do, to accept that part of yourself, than it is to blame or guilt trip.
I did some good here and there, I think. When it's your time. I know it's your time. The world doesn't need me anymore. I don't think I'm necessary like this. Like you all. I couldn't do anything to stop him. Powerless. I could pray all I want. It wouldn't change anything. Fate is fate, no matter what.
We need a human face, Clint.
He goes back to being non-responsive, closing his eyes, but he's still breathing.
Icepeak, how quickly do we need to get him?
Immediately. I think he has much time.
How far high up are we?
2 floors?
Does it look like there's ambulance coming or anything?
Yeah, there's likely to be at least a few that have arrived. I mean, there's a fire, so they just would dispatch them. Plus, there's multiple people inside.
Is it a good idea to move him?
I have stabilized him, but any jostling will impact him negatively.
He'll clearly just die if we just do nothing and just leave him there. And he's gonna try to pick him up.
Not very heavy. It's not compared to anything else you've had to deal with. He's just a man, can be picked up just like a man. For you, a bundle of clothes.
She's just gonna kick out a window and just drop down to where the ambulances are.
You drop down to the ground. How are you going to deal with the shock absorption of hitting the ground while you're holding somebody?
Can I also like slide down and like, create like a weird goop ball to fall into? Just something to, yeah, like a goop pillow, yeah. Something to just cushion it. Myself as like a big, you know, just
Oh no.
out like a more like Tex Avery cartoon shit. Just turn myself into a big trampoline and just yeah, boing, yeah, just let her bounce.
You roll down, spread out your body like a trampoline. Make sure that Clint doesn't just get rocked too hard from the shock of dropping.
Don't land on any important organs, Enya.
He like yells as she's already falling. There's like no way for her to correct.
She's surprised by this sneak. Mikey's truly slick. She was just ready to like break some shit on her own on the way down, but thank you, Mikey.
Yeah, you are able to get him to the ground without causing him further damage, but it's still not looking good. The ambulance crews are there and ready to receive. Icepeak, you are a field medic, so you can make sure that they have kind of everything they need down to the information on this guy, any tests that you've run on him, anything they need to know for medications or anything. How thoroughly would you say you know Clint's medical history, actually? He was too shy to even let you do an exam on him or anything.
I asked him several times to go see a doctor, but I don't know if he did. But I did have a taste of his blood one. I think I'd be smart enough to break down his composition.
Are we gonna have to do like a prayer roll off?
Oh no.
Who would you even pray to?
Little Avicii,
Dear
Dagon.
dear Avicii.
No!
Stop it. Just
Stop it.
stop it, you fucking asshole. Don't make me come down there or else. Basically, you gotta go full like Conan the Barbarian. Either help me or fuck off. I feel like Avicii would appreciate that.
Did everyone just jump down?
I assume, yeah. They after
We can
somebody
just do that.
collected Towner, or Towner was probably running over, just covered in rubble and rage.
There was an Icepeak already down there, because half of her is down there.
Look, it's out of our hands, but I think it's appropriate if maybe we ask one of their gods. Like, you know, he's a human. Maybe that works, you know? I mean, they obviously exist. And she's gonna put her hands together and look around nervously and then close her eyes. Jeff Lynn, if you're there, we'd like to appeal to you to help our friend Clint out. He's been a very kind-hearted human, and I know you really like order and stuff, and I didn't really get to know you that well or anything, but we really need him to be alive because he helps keep balance. She looks like she's really out of her element with this.
Okay, give me a connect roll. Wow, I was gonna recommend a ridiculous number, but you might actually meet it. 9.
You know what? I'll invoke Crisis Negotiator and her need to perform connections.
You say this prayer kind of like into the ether, and then you hear a sort of response, not in the form of words, but in the form of the ambulance crew starting to panic because he's flatlining.
He's also panicking because he's flatlining.
Icepeak, you hear a scratch at one of the windows on the side.
Okay, I open the window. One eel comes off and opens the window while the rest of her is trying to deal with the flatlining.
A hawk flies in and attaches to your face.
What? Ah!
It starts attacking you. Yeah, okay. You go sort of like to your left from how it's like kind of just clawing at you and screeching. It's just attacking you. It's just clawing and biting at your head.
Why is this? Try to enwrap the hawk in eels? Maybe give it one to eat? What do you want?
Okay, give me a slither roll. It's not enough. The hawk is like when you go to hit an eel with it, the eel passes through.
What?
And the hawk, its claws are starting to burn into your flesh.
Ow!
It's piercing right through the matter that you form your bones out of and just sinking into the tissue.
Okay.
You can feel it superheating too as it's like attached there. It feels like it's about to erupt. Blue, you have the ability to sense heat with your stand. This is maybe the hottest thing you've ever detected with that ability. You did just get it, but this is higher, much higher than open flame.
Oh, okay.
This thing, if it explodes, quick judgment call on your part. Give me a piercing gaze roll. Yeah, you can tell. If this thing explodes with the heat that it's putting out in waves and pulses, you can already see plastic nearby starting to melt. If this thing detonates, it could likely take out all of the people in and around the ambulance.
I feel like this isn't something I can really absorb.
It's you'd probably get reduced to ash.
And the hawk is...
It's glowing now, visibly glowing. The crew in the ambulance are starting to flee out of it, leaving just Icepeak and Clint in there. Icepeak, I'll say you have one action you can do here for this thing. You can feel it increasing in heat. It's cooking your skin. It will definitely kill a majority of your eels. It doesn't even need to explode to do it, but it will.
Throw myself from the ambulance?
You're going to throw yourself from the ambulance
with the hawk, yeah.
So that you explode.
Yeah.
The moment you hit the entrance to leave, some part of you knows that this thing will cook every single strand of your DNA, not just the ones in the eels that are attached, but in every strand. Other eels that you have currently active can feel the heat resonating through them. You can't survive this.
I wouldn't be able to survive this either way then.
True.
So outside I go?
No, you don't.
No?
There's a hand grabbing you.
What?
Clint on the bed is grabbing the bottom of your coat with one hand. He's resuscitated himself and is stopping you.
Let's go.
Look over here.
I mean, I look, but I'm still
Can't see,
I'm
yeah.
following it.
After he says that and you turn into his direction, suddenly you feel the hawk pulling off of your head and it flies into his hand. He holds it and then says, "What an asshole," and crushes it in his hand, shattering it into a million points of light. And then he passes out. And that is where we will do our to be continued.
I don't know what to think anymore, guys. Down is up and left is right.
I love this battle, though. It was very
He's a
good.
good friend, Clint. It's fine.
Eh,
He's just a good friend, normal guy.
Definitely not an ex-terrorist.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I can't tell if he's for the moon or against the moon. I don't know yet. I don't know what moon plus skull means.
Well, now that you've seen it, maybe you could research it.
That's true.
And you will have time to, because now that you've taken down Danny, you'll still have to prep for a trial. That could take a while, though. He's a very, 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 very prolific criminal. And this is obviously the first time anyone's tried a tongue on the stand.
A tongue with a cat having to constantly sit by and or near it.
Yeah. Ember
Does that
will
mean-
be temporarily deputized, yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. Does that mean that Ember is on the prosecuting attorney's council and like sitting there in a little suit and tie at the?
He's
Obviously.
obviously a police cat
Just
with a little
staring
badge
over.
around his neck. With a little police hat on.
I've also made jokes, but I really am going to do it. I'm going to give you guys a mascot slot. Now that you've collected enough mascots, you'll be able to equip a mascot into the mascot slot. It could be Polly, it could be Lily, it could be Ember, it could be Ugly Dog Son, which, by the way, the final shot is a cop with this ugly dog son wrapped in a blanket, just trying to ask people, where do we even take this thing?
The pound? An orphanage?
Yeah, they don't know what to do
no.
with this thing. Oh, you chose the land ending for this, by the way. Yes, but good job. You chose being men of the land, or people of the land, since we got some ladies here. So the real post-credit scene, I guess, is one of you has to call Sunny.
Nah, you can have that.
Okay. Ring, I guess.
Ring, ring. You call Sunny. Sunny picks up the phone rather quickly. Moshi, 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 moshi.
Good evening.
What can I do for you, Icepeak?
Oh, we have simply got another crown.
Oh, another crown. And what do you need from me?
I think we have him stabilized, but I thought you would like to know. And I suppose it did have to do with a DOROBO. Well, you did sell to him.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Who is it?
Do you know a Danny?
Elfman? Director Elfman? Are you saying he was a crown? And oh no. Oh, I'm so glad that you told me. Thank you. Oh, I don't know how to process it.
Yes, I'm sure you have much to hide.
No, I didn't know. You're right. I'll turn myself in. I'm so sorry. This has gone too far. Ozone and now this. I can't keep running DOROBO, and this is too much.
Are you all right, Sonny?
I'll come down. I'll surrender. Don't worry. They'll just break up the company, and I'll make sure that you guys get whatever help you need. I can't take this anymore.
Although I would like to see you again, Sonny, I'm sure you must turn yourself into jail, perhaps community service.
You don't understand. There's no community service for me. If what you're saying is true, then I'm not getting out of this one. I'm basically dead. You know that, right? The people that are financially tied into this, the connections.
Ah, yes, the Valentines.
More than them, it's everyone. DOROBO is a supplier to so many different countries and militaries. I'm finished.
So you need police protection?
You just hear crying. He's losing it. I just made the announcement that I was gonna help people, and now this.
Do you need me to visit?
What are you gonna take me in? Just bring a gun and finish it. Oh, you can't see it, but you hear something scraping against carpet, and then kind of knocking against something wooden. It sounds like he's in a more enclosed space now. If you had to guess, he's crawled under his desk.
No!
And he's just crying.
Oh,
Why me?
Sonny, I have remade my life once before. You may do the same. I do not understand. Please use your words. I am.
I'll give you everything I own. Just don't take me to jail. I'm so sorry. I was CEO, and it was only for a while, and I just did what they told me, but I didn't know.
May I ask you a question, Sonny?
What?
How long have you been alive?
I don't.
As you, not as before.
Years, probably decade more.
So you are 12? I believe you are a minor.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Legally, you will be tried as a minor.
Minor? So that means that. What do you mean?
You may be able to escape this one, but I would suggest you be a very forward witness.
Legally speaking, you're saying that I may get out of this. I just have to be very forthcoming with the truth. That's all, right? That's what you're saying to me? Because I'm a child.
I have learned this today. So this is not just a lesson a child must learn, but yes.
And I can help you contain something. Maybe you need another crown. You said I can still do that.
Yes.
Probably.
Would you like to come into to our office and see how we currently have him contained? It is with a cat.
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'll bring some. I gotta bring some things down for the cops anyway. So, yeah, no problem. Thank you, Icepeak. Yeah. Hey, for a second, I thought maybe that it would be awkward, because I might accidentally call you mommy, but I got through the whole conversation and didn't. I'm not asking for a thank you because it's not really like the time, but like as you, I didn't really have parents. I didn't really know anyone other than the brains, so I don't know what a mother or a father is really like. It's just brains talking to me in my sleep, and when I wake up, when I mess up, when I'm not doing enough, and all the time. And if I eat too much,
If it helps, we were not born with a mother or father either. I had to squirm my way into a family.
I understand. Thank you for not laughing at me just now. He's wiping his eyes. You can hear him brushing his face.
I see no point in that.
It's really kind of you. Thank you. Okay, I'll do what I can, and we'll fix this together. And Dorobo's making a bright future for everyone. Oh God!
I am proud of you for turning yourself in, son.
Okay, thank you. He hangs up. He gets up from under his desk, in the location of the reverse Babylon inverse. Gets up from his desk, walks through a bunch of different containment rooms and corridors, still wiping his tears away, and then enters a room with a glowing tank in it, one brain inside of it. Hey, we found another one. So you're gonna have some company, and so just keep crunching those numbers for me and doing stuff, and we'll see what he can do, and maybe you guys can work together on some things, and it doesn't have to be evil or anything. Okay, Brianna, I love you. Thank you. And he leaves with this ominous brain floating in this tank, and there are other tanks that are marked, one with a brain, one with a tongue, one with a skull, one with teeth, one with just toxic symbol on it. All of them lined up and empty. Only the brain tank is currently occupied. We're gonna do it, guys. A bright new future. DOROBO, and I don't even have to go to jail. And that's the real ending.
Oh my god.
Welcome to being animals of the land.
I take it to people. That was the people route.
Yes.
Great.
More technology, it's fine.
Hey man, there's a reason that guy bit his fingers off.
Because it's hard to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure what ending the DM would give him.
Poor man.
And yes, the situation would have been resolved differently if you chose differently.
But I'm kind of glad that we get information out of Danny, I guess.
Maybe. If you take him at his word, he will tell everything. And he'll do that to destabilize as many things as possible.
That's probably true, yeah.
You have to do what you can with the information and hope that he doesn't, whisper anything he shouldn't. Yeah. No, he won't. He doesn't really lie much, honestly. I mean, sometimes he does, but it's because he's crazy. Hey, Clint's alive, though.
Jeff?
God, what a background.
Jeff, please! Why?
I hope Clint will come clean with us since he saw our dirty laundry and we saw enough of his. Just tell us the rest, man. Who are you? Stop
Used to be a fella named Moisty.
No!
What?
No!
Oh my god!
No, die! Why did you pray?